You think you know Jason Statham? Think again. Before the roar of the crowd, the explosions, the high-speed chases, and the impossible stunts, there was a life most people would never imagine. A life raw, messy, and absolutely unglamorous. Jason Statham didn't just wake up one day and become Hollywood's action icon. No, he had to fight, literally and figuratively, just to survive. And the story of what he did before the cameras rolled is crazier than any action movie you've ever seen. Before the fame, before the suits and tuxedos, before the car chases and epic fight sequences, Statham was hustling. Not hustling in some safe corporate way, but street-level survival. He sold everything from counterfeit goods to whatever he could get his hands on. He ran with people who lived on the edge, learned to read situations in a split second, and developed a toughness that would later translate perfectly to the screen. Every risk he took, every hustle he pulled, sharpened the instincts that now make him one of the deadliest and most precise action stars in the world. But that's not all. Jason Statham was also a professional diver. Yeah, before Hollywood, he trained and competed at the highest levels in competitive diving. The precision, the fearlessness, the ability to control his body under extreme conditions, skills he honed in pools and off diving platforms, would later become the backbone of his stunt work. You think pulling off 50-foot dive into water or flipping over moving cars is easy? Those skills were built long before anyone handed him a movie contract. And then there were the odd jobs, everything from modeling to working in markets, learning to sell, perform, and negotiate. Every encounter, every job, every risky choice built a resilience that most actors will never understand. He didn't have a safety net, he didn't have a script. He had instincts, grit, and a refusal to back down. And that raw experience? It's why he moves on screen with a confidence and precision that looks effortless, but is anything but. Here's where it gets even more insane. Statham didn't just survive, he thrived in environments most would run from. He mastered the streets, understood danger, and learned how to act decisively when the stakes were life or death. Those experiences became the foundation of the fearless, unstoppable persona we now see in films. Every punch he throws, every chase scene, every stunt, it's not acting, it's instinct. It's muscle memory from years of a life lived on the edge. And the best part? He's never hidden it. In interviews, he drops hints of this past, stories of hustles, of diving competitions, of jobs that seem unbelievable, but most people never connect the dots. They see the Statham on screen, flawless and cinematic, but the man behind the action has a history that's far more captivating, dangerous and inspiring than any script could ever write. So next time you watch him leap from a moving car, execute an impossible fight sequence, or survive a stunt that would terrify any other actor, remember this. Jason Statham's power didn't come from Hollywood. It came from the streets, from the dives, from the risk, from a life that demanded toughness and resilience before anyone even knew his name. That's the hidden story behind the man who stunned audiences with every punch, every stunt, and every scene. A story that proves sometimes reality is even more extraordinary than fiction. Before fame, before action hero status, before the world knew his name, Jason Statham built a life where failure wasn't an option. Danger was a daily companion, and survival required skill, courage, and a relentless drive. And that life, the raw, unfiltered, edge-of-your-seat reality, is exactly what transformed him into the unstoppable force Hollywood celebrates today. Every move, every stunt, every perfectly timed punch on the big screen is the culmination of a life that demanded excellence long before the cameras ever rolled. Jason Statham didn't just become an action star. He forged himself into one, step by step, hustle by hustle, risk by risk, in a world where only the bold survive. And now, when he's on screen performing feats most would call impossible, he's not acting. He's living the culmination of every challenge, every danger, and every fearless decision he ever made. This is the story few know. The journey from street hustles to competitive diving, from odd jobs to relentless self-discipline, from raw survival to cinematic legend. It's a reminder that greatness often comes from the most unexpected places, and that behind every icon there's a history that's more intense, more daring, and more inspiring than any movie could capture. Jason Statham's past didn't just prepare him for Hollywood, it made him a legend. And here's something even crazier. Many of the stunts you see in his films weren't just trained for in studios. They're the result of a lifetime of testing limits. Jumping from heights, balancing on moving vehicles, handling dangerous props, all of that comes from mastering fear from a young age. He learned to stay calm under pressure, to act decisively when everything around him could go wrong, and to turn risk into opportunity. That's why every fight scene, every chase, every escape in his movies feels real. Because it is. Even today, Statham approaches his roles with that same intensity. He doesn't just act, he embodies. He takes the lessons from his past, hustles, dives, street smarts, odd jobs, physical discipline, and injects them into every performance. And the audience feels it. That magnetism, that tension, that edge. It's real life, honed and refined over decades, and translated perfectly to the screen. The story of Jason Statham is more than just from street hustler to movie star. It's a masterclass in resilience, adaptation, and fearlessness. It's about taking every experience, every challenge, every risk, and turning it into strength. It's about a man who refused to be ordinary, who thrived where others feared to tread, and who transformed his raw, chaotic early life into art that captivates millions worldwide. If you really want to understand why Jason Statham dominates the action genre, it's simple. He's lived every scene before it was filmed. He's fought, risked, and survived in ways most people couldn't even imagine. That life, the grit, the intensity, the danger, is what gives him the precision, timing, and authenticity that makes every punch, kick, and stunt hit so hard on screen. This isn't Hollywood storytelling, it's reality. And it's why Jason Statham doesn't just perform action scenes, he owns them. Every frame, every stunt, every fight is a reflection of a man forged in adversity, trained in survival, and perfected through years of daring living. The legend you see on screen was built long before anyone handed him a script, and the story of that journey is as thrilling, intense, and jaw-dropping as any movie he's ever starred in.